my name is Maya, and welcome to the episode 16 of the Mila's Tinks Knitting Podcast, where I share all my thoughts, process, and other random stuff about all things fiber related, but mostly knitting. So today is the 16th of February 2024, so we are on episode 16 on the 16th. Yay! And I am talking to you from the French-speaking part of Switzerland, where I live with my gecko. And you can find links of everything I talk about down in the description box, as well as my measurements if you're interested. And you can find me on Instagram as Mila's the Tinks. So maybe you can hear it, but I'm a little bit sick. Actually, I was sick this week. I'm feeling better since Wednesday. Today is Friday. So maybe I'm a little bit nosy still, but should be fine. And also, as usual, I am still living in an area that's under construction, so you can maybe hear the machines outside, but that's just how it is. Anyway, so today the program is pretty light. I have two finished objects, one of which you have never seen before because I have cast on and finished it in 3 days, and this is the one I'm wearing there. I have one work in progress, which is pretty small, and some acquisitions because I wanted to cast on a project but I couldn't, but I'm going to talk about that later. So this is probably going to be a shorter episode, which is good because I don't want to be speaking for too long. So let's get into it. First, for what I'm wearing, actually I can also talk about this that I'm wearing in my hair briefly. It's an Augustins number 22 bow, which is pretty popular, so you probably know about it. And I have a collection of them because as soon as I have more than 20 grams of decay or fingering, I will do one of those. I can switch up the numbers and the size of it to accommodate for the yarn I have, and so I have like 7 or 8 of those bows in all the colors. So. And I don't usually remember to wear them, but today I have, so enjoy a hair accessory you can't see. Maybe next time I will pop up a mirror behind me, but yeah, for today we have it on. So the other knitting piece I'm wearing is this, which is hidden below my jacket, and this is how can I show that? Yeah, it's a super small summer top that I knit in 3 days, as I said. This is a test knit for Joanne Ho, which is a, I would say, pretty established designer. She's the one that have written the Knit Cable Style book that went out last year, and she's releasing another book, but for summer knits, in the summer of 2025. And I am test knitting this piece for her, which will be in the upcoming book in a year and a half from now. So it's pretty early, so you won't be able to knit this until a while, but now I have it and I'm super happy. It was, as I said, so quick, so fast too, 3 days. So of course it's faster for me because I'm knitting size 1, but I'm guessing even the biggest size can only take you like a week. It was so quick to do. Because you cannot see it from what I have shown you, but actually, so it's a little strap for the straps, and also it's backless, so there's no fabric there to knit, so that's why it's going super fast. I'll try to show that to you, but yeah. It's basically a super small piece of fabric. And it was lovely to knit, super easy, super fast. It's ribbing on 3.5mm needles, and it's using DK weight yarn. You're supposed to knit it with a cotton yarn. I mean, it's designed for cotton yarn because it's a summer knit, so obviously it's just more comfortable to wear. And also the cotton will make a stiffer fabric, which can be good for something this small that needs a little bit of strength, if you want, in the fabric to just stay upright on your chest. So So you're supposed to use a DK weight yarn, and the gauge is like 35 stitches, and I'm like, I cannot get that small gauge on 3.5mm needles with cotton, DK cotton. So maybe, no, not maybe, I know that cotton is heavier than other wool fibers, which makes the overall thread to be smaller, even if it's DK. If you compare side to side a DK weight wool with a DK weight cotton, the cotton thread is going to be smaller. But even so, I wasn't sure. So what I wanted to do is use a blend, and I used a yarn I have already used and really love, and this is the leftover I have. So I used one single 50-gram ball to do my garment, so pretty cheap, I would say. This is Candide by Dyer Natura, which is a French brand I absolutely love. I love just every blend, every yarn they make. It's just so nice. And so this is a 70% wool, merino I think. 28% recycled cotton and 2% other recycled fibers. So it's a recycled yarn basically. And the wool in it is woolen spun, so it makes a really lofty and airy yarn, even though there's quite a lot of cotton in it. So it's really lovely. It's a sports weight, so it should be thinner than the DK. However, since it's a blend and it's woolen spun, it happens to be probably the same weight thickness as the yarn, the 100% cotton yarn that the designer used in her sample. Which means, all of that to say that my gauge is a little bit too big, even though I'm using a smaller yarn. But I didn't want it to go down a little size, and I mean it's too big, but it's still fitting perfectly fine, so there's really no difference actually. So it's fine, it works really well, and it makes for a more lightweight garment than if you used only cotton, so I really recommend this one. And it's so soft, like really, this is just cotton shirt from a store soft. There's really no itch factor, you cannot feel the yarn, you cannot feel, it just feels like a fabric from a store. Super nice. So yeah. The only thing I would say about the yarn is that if you look at the website, there are only pretty pastel-y and washed out colors, and there's a really good reason for that. It's because the yarn is dyed in the wool first, like only the wool, and then it is blended with the cotton. Which means you cannot have 100% dyed colors, because you are going to blend it with something that is white, which is why you only have pastel colors. And I tend to prefer darker shades, so I took the darkest I could find, which is this one. It's the colorway Grand Bleu. And I mean, it's still summery and fresh, so I'm really happy about it. It's just super nice. Maybe you can see the heathering of the cotton inside it. This actually looks like blue jean fabric. Super cute. For the modifications I did, not so many, because the designer asked us not to do any modification so that she could get an accurate yardage estimation from us. So I still used a little bit more because my gauge is a little bit bigger, but not that much, since I managed to finish the garment in less than 50 gram skein. So I didn't change anything to the numbers. However, I did modify the bind off because you knit it bottom up. Like you cast on here, you do the edge, knit the ribbing straight, and then you do bind off here after doing the finishing thing. And you are supposed to do a normal bind off, like you just pass the stitch over and then knit one, pass the stitch over. And I did an Italian bind off because I just think it looks cleaner. And the cast on here is also just a long tail cast on, and I wish I had done a Judy's Magic cast on, because actually the finishing on the top and on the bottom are double knit, so it's a tubular thing. And with the Judy's Magic cast on you would have the same finishing as this on the bottom, instead of having the kind of chain, which looks nice actually. It's a look, it's pretty, I like it too. But I just would have preferred the seamless style of the Judy's Magic cast-on. So I will probably need another one because it was so fast and it's just so cute. I really like it. But maybe a fingering weight, because I just have to knit 2 measurements. I don't really need to use the same gauge as the pattern. So maybe I will do that for another sample. Sample? Sample. And there's also one thing regarding the fit, is that if I put my shoulders to the front, the straps tend to fall because there is nothing holding them together here, which is also super cute. I love the look, but it's not practical because whenever I move, yeah, the straps just fall. So maybe I will add something to attach the 2 sides together in the middle of the back. Maybe I can go wild with the motif of the straps. I don't know. I will find something, but yeah. That way I have written down the yardage or the yarn usage I have made, and now I can use my leftovers to add some fancy things to the back. So that's it for this one. Oh no, one more thing. That's really funny actually, regarding the yarn. It's just making me so happy. So when I bought this, I went to one of my local yarn stores. There are 2 in my town, 2 very lovely shops, and there is one other in another town that's like 1 hour drive from where I live, which is pretty close, but I don't go there often. But my boyfriend lived there, so I go there usually on the weekends. And I know they carry this yarn, so I took the opportunity to go there while I was at my boyfriend's place. I went to the shop, and I go there quite often, like maybe every 2 months to buy some yarn. And I went there, and we always go there with my boyfriend, and it's super cute because we're like watching all the colors and comparing it to my skin tone and trying to choose the best color. And he's super supportive to choose the colors, and actually has some really good advice every time. So I really love to go there with him. And when I went to the shop owner to pay, she looked at me and she said, did you like knit a skirt and you published it on Instagram? And I was like, so skirts are very unusual to knit, so, but still I'm not the only one who have knit a skirt. So if you don't have the reference, I will put the video here. I knit that maybe a year and something ago, 2 years ago, and I have published a reel on my Instagram, and I just love this skirt so much. I think it's a work of art, and I'm so proud of myself. I have designed it myself. There is no design for it. And so yeah, but I have published it like a year ago, so I wasn't really having this fresh in my head. And so the shop owner asked me, did you knit a skirt? And I was like, yes, I knit a skirt, but I don't think you were talking about me, because I don't know, it just didn't occur to me that someone could recognize me from something I have done on Instagram. Just, it was impossible. So I was like, yes, I knit a skirt, but I don't think you're talking about me. And she was like, yeah, but no, I'm pretty sure. Is it like you use the Antigone yarn from the Rerum Natura? And that struck me because, yes, for sure that's me, and I am pretty sure I'm the only one who have done that. So I said, yeah, it's a grey skirt. Yes, so that's you. Oh, I really love the skirt, it's so lovely. Do you have a pattern for it? I really want to knit it, it's so cute and so pretty. And I was like, oh my god! Somebody recognized me, and she loved what I have done so much that she would ask for it. It was so cute. It just made my heart sing so much. I'm about to cry. Yeah, it was just such a small thing, but yeah, it was just so nice that she just knew who I was and talked to me about that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to understand why, but it just made me super emotional. So that shop owner knows me and knows my work, I would say, on Instagram. And yeah, it's definitely in my plans to knit another one of these skirts, because the plan I have is that you could, if you know the musselburgh hat from Isol the Tig, it's a pattern that you don't have to knit to a certain gauge. You just knit the beginning of the hat, and then you measure your gauge, and then you decide how much you want to increase to get the hat that will fit you, whatever yarn and needle you are using. And I have an idea on how to knit this skirt with, again, whatever yarn and needle you are using. I have an idea on how to make this work, and I just need to try and knit another sample to see if it works, but I know it will. It's just so easy. So straightforward, but yeah, so that's my plan. And I wanted to knit it obviously before the beginning of the summer, so pretty soon actually, but it just motivated me even much to knit it, so this is coming soon. And yeah, it made me so happy. I'm just, yeah, so nice. Anyway, next, the next finished object I have is this one. It's the Inclinations cowl. Looks like nothing. By Andrea Maury. So it looks like just a piece of fabric. But yeah, the other side, here you have the seaming, and this is the shape it actually has. So you probably know about this pattern, it's pretty well known, and all the cowl style of Andrea Maury's. She has a few styles, but this is the one that is the most popular. And this is knit in fisherman's rib on 2.75mm needles. And I finished it. So I will try and put it on without destroying my hair. Look at me go, putting on a super heavy 100% wool and mohair cowl while wearing the croppest crop top ever. Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, this is what it looks like on. Wow, I like it, I love it, I look amazing. Yeah, so the yarn I used are, I used 3 yarns, the black one, and then the purple one I held 2 threads together. So the black one is Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company, it's a limited edition, it's the swatch, this, and blue texel blend, so it's a naturally black yarn, very dark brown, blackish yarn, and it's, I would definitely say a sport weight because it's a woolen spun and it's very thick and it's lovely. It's just gorgeous. It's super scrunchy, like there is a lot of texture, but it's not itchy. That's just how I feel. Different for everyone. And for contrast colors I used another Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company yarn. This is the Natural Sock yarn. It's a 2-ply 100% wool, not superwash. I would say blend, but it's not a blend. Yarn. And it's hand dyed, and this colorway is the Wildflower Light. This yarn is available in the shop, but not the colorway, because obviously she just does the colorway whenever she has a shop update, so I don't think this exact colorway is available, but you can go check out. I think she had a shop update 2 days ago, so shop should be pretty full. And I held that with, I only have this left. This is the first mohair I ever bought. It's a Penny Lane Yarns yarn. It's the Wonder Lane, I think? No, not at all. It's the Kid Silk Lane, so it's just the Kid Silk normal blend, and it's also hand dyed. However, I don't know the colorway name because I couldn't read the label. And this is all I have left. So I have finally finished up the first ever skein of mohair I have bought. This is 1 gram, so it's just small enough I can just throw it out, but I will just put it in my bin of leftovers. Jar of leftovers. I don't have enough leftovers to fill a bin. So yeah, this is what I have. And the black one I have about the same amount as this left. And yeah, so the result, so this is it in fisherman's rib, and I love it. I have nothing to say about it. It's lovely. I love to wear it, so I'm just happy. And since this is deep stash yarn, I'm just glad I managed to use up 3 skeins. The strap of my top is falling. Yeah, I'm just happy I managed to use up 3 skeins in my stash, so good thing. And for my leftovers, as you maybe know if you have watched me before, I like to use my leftovers, or rather I don't like having leftovers, so I use them up. And I'm planning to use this double-stranded in my sweatshirt blanket, which I haven't started yet. But the thing is, this blanket is planned to use black as the main color, and then my leftovers as contrast colors. But then the leftover of the other yarn is also black, so I'm not going to do a square with black and black. So I don't know what to do with the other leftover yarn. I will see. The only modification I did to the pattern is that I knit, instead of half fisherman's rib, I'm tired, half fisherman's rib, I did half brioche, which is exactly the same in the result, however it's just the way you execute it that's different, because for some reason the half fisherman's, where you have to knit one below, I just couldn't. I don't know, you're supposed to like knit one below, purl one, knit one below, purl one, and I couldn't. I was always mixing up the rows and doing the knit one in the purl column and then purling the knit column, and I just couldn't. I don't know why. So I had to switch to the half brioche, which was much smoother and much easier to execute for me. So yeah, just a tip if you're having trouble with the fisherman's rib, try half brioche. Maybe it's easier. And the gauge is exactly the same, because I switched somewhere at the beginning and it's invisible. There is, even I, who knows there is a switch, I cannot find it anymore, so the gauge is exactly the same, at least for me. So that's it for this one, and I'm going to take it off because I'm a bit too hot. Next up, for my only whip, which is actually not my only whip because I'm still working on my huge colorwork blanket, but I'm not going to show you that every time, so we'll just save that for another episode. So my whip is... I'm having trouble with my jacket. So my only whip is a sock. I am knitting... Oh, it's so pretty! I love blue, can you tell? I am knitting for my boyfriend's boss, which is weird, but it's actually pretty funny. I explained that already a few months ago when the thing first happened. So what happened is that I saw that my boyfriend's boss was wearing hand-knit socks. He was wearing socks. And I said to him, "Oh, you have hand-knit socks, I knit too, they are super nice." And he said, "Can you knit me socks, please?" He just lost it. That was so cute, actually. So I said, "Yes, of course, but it will be pretty expensive." And he said, "No, don't worry, I will buy all the socks from you, just knit me socks, I love hand-knit socks." So I obliged, and I bought some yarn for him. The first ball or skein I bought is this one. But I learned a little bit after that actually he doesn't really like red, so I switched gears and bought another skein. And I actually have a funny story regarding this. So this is the first one I bought, and maybe I can take off the tag so that you can see the color. Or first I can show you this. So this is how it's supposed to knit up. Super cool. I'm doing... okay, I will try to go in order. First, this is how it knits up, this is the skein, and the brand is Fröhlich Wolle. It's like special big Blauband. It's called big because usually you can buy 50-gram skeins, which is the usual size, and then this is 100 gram, so it's a big. Because you're supposed to buy one skein per sock. Not exactly sure why, but yeah. And this is a kind of yarn where you buy the skein and you get this with it, which is a reinforcement thread that you hold with the main yarn when you get to the heel and toes. And I have heard about that for a long time, but I have never actually tried it, and I really wanted to, and so I figured now is the time. But since this is a double skein, I actually have two of them, so nice. And they are usually stuck inside here. But I wanted to show you the skein. So this is what it looks like, and you can actually see. I like the way this is wound up because you can exactly see what it's going to look like. If I start at the tip of a wedge here, you can see I'm gonna have a very small black stripe, then some micro striping between yellow and red, and then we're going to have a big part with kind of a fade of yellow to more red color, then micro stripes again, then a big or smaller stripe of red, then micro stripes, and then a big part of grey. And this is the design. And it's just nice to know exactly what it's going to look like. So, and also it also helps that you have this. on top. So this is basically exactly what I described to you. And it's exactly what's happening in this one. So no surprise, which is cool. So you can see here, I have a first section with a bigger part of grey, then some small stripes, a black, small stripes, and then there is kind of a fade, which I really love, between a light blue to a darker blue, then micro stripes, part of grey, micro stripes, etc. And you can maybe tell this is not what the skin looks like, because this is actually the second time I'm trying, because the first sock I knit was not the correct size. And it's all my fault, of course. So what happened is, first I asked the recipient to give me a pair of socks he already owns and loves, so that I could use it as a reference to know exactly what fits him, so that I don't have to go to him and put a sock on his feet to check it fits. So he gave me a pair. I can show you one sock from afar because it's a very loved sock. So this is what it looks like. Super cute, super nice. And it's green and blue, and apparently those are his favorite colors, so I'm glad I switched. And as you can maybe tell, this is a ribbed leg sock. There is a short row here, and then you cannot tell from afar, but there are some decreases, and then the foot is knit straight, so the foot is a little bit smaller than this part, and then we have a rounded toe. I don't like knitting rib on socks, I just find it painful, so I wasn't about to do this. However, I managed to count all the stitches, I measured the gauge, I measured also everything I needed to measure, like the length of the leg, of the foot, everything. And I did some calculations because this is a pretty loose gauge. I mean, you cannot see it, but I tell you, it's a loose gauge. It's probably knit on 2.75 millimeters. Or maybe the person was a loose knitter, I don't know. But I just don't enjoy knitting on a looser gauge, especially for socks. So I took one of my socks, I measured the gauge on my sock, and then I did calculations so that I would get the same dimensions as this one with my gauge. However, the sock I used is very, very smooth and soft 85-50 blend, like 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and this one is the usual 25-75 blend superwash, so it's much more, it's less soft, and just the base is different, so it's going to behave differently when you knit it, just normal. And I knew it, but it takes as much time to knit the beginning of a sock and measure the gauge than to knit a swatch, which is going to be less accurate than the real sock, so I might as well just knit the beginning of the sock and measure. So I did that, and I had cast on, I think, 76 stitches. However, I miscounted, and actually I thought it was 74, but it was 76. Whatever. I knit the cuff, and then I knit straight. I measured my gauge, and I was aiming for 9 stitches per inch, but it was more like 8 and a 5 if I really pushed it, but it was 8 stitches, so obviously my gauge was too big. And this one, I think it's 7 stitches per inch, so I was right in the middle. But I decided to continue knitting, even though I knew it was not the correct gauge, because a lot of reasons. First, I just wanted to see exactly what the striping would look like. I was just curious. And also there's this reinforcement thread you are holding with it, and I wasn't sure it was going to change my gauge, because the thread is thin, but it's still there. I mean, it's like a lace weight. So I wasn't certain, I just didn't know what it would do to my gauge if I kept the same. I'm knitting on 2.25, and I just didn't know, and I just wanted to see. And as you can see, the reinforcement thread also has the striping motif, but still I wasn't sure. I mean, I could guess where this one was starting, and I could maybe match it with the other one, with the main yarn, so that I would have the same striping motif on both yarns, so that I wouldn't have any weird marling effect. And I was very, very lucky that about the point where I wanted to add the heel, was exactly where the pattern was joining this one, so just super lucky. Or maybe it's done on purpose, I'm not sure, but yeah, nice. So I decided to push through and knit the heel so that I could at least see what was happening with the gauge. And then I did the heel, and I figured I might as well just start knitting the foot so that I can see with my new gauge just what the result would be. So I continued knitting the foot. And I don't know what happened, I wanted to decrease 8 stitches and I decreased 12. I don't know. Sometimes I just knit so fast I just don't count or don't count correctly and I do weird stuff. So I decreased 12 stitches instead of 8. So I went from 76 to 64 stitches. And 64 is the usual size. He doesn't have particularly big feet, but I was not sure 64 would be too small or whatever. So I asked my boyfriend, which has apparently exactly the same size feet as his boss. Don't ask me how he knows that, I don't want to know. And I asked him to put the sock on, and as I thought the leg was way too big, it was bagging on the ankle, because I have the problem, my boyfriend has it, and apparently his boss too. We all three have super large or high arch, like a deep heel, but we have very small ankles. So what we should do is actually decrease before and after the heel, because the heel is the biggest part. But then if we decrease too much on the leg, we cannot put the heel through, so it's tricky. But there it was just way too big, because it was super easy to put the sock on, so I had some breathing room to just make the leg smaller, and it was bagging, it was just too big, so I continued knitting. If the sock had the same amount of ease all the way around, I mean from the leg, not the baggy part on the ankle, but from the top of the leg to the heel to the foot, if it was the same kind of not very tight but a little bit tight gauge, it would be fine, and the sock would be homogeneous. I don't know. But then I had a very fitted foot, which was perfect, and the leg that was fitted but a little bit baggy still, so I was like, no, I can't. That's not working. Either the whole sock is fitted or the whole sock is not very fitted, but not half-half. I hate that. And when I noticed I had decreased too much, I had already left for work, and I didn't want it to not knit during the day, but I didn't want it to start over while I was in the bus, because unwinding this yarn was just painful. So I just continued knitting during the day, and I almost finished the foot. And when I came back home in the evening, I unraveled everything. I have a video of it I can show you, but yeah, knitting is knitting in the end, so even if I unravel it afterwards, it still keeps me occupied, so I will just knit even if I know I'm going to frog it. Yeah, maybe I'm a bit crazy, but anyway, that's how I work. And the other thing I did is, this is the first cuff of the sock. And I kept it because since I was going to cast on less stitches, I cast on 70 instead of 76. The leg part was going to get longer, and then it would be too long, since I wanted to start the heel at a very specific point in the yarn striping design. So I cut off the cuff and I started knitting a little bit later in the skein, so that I would get this much less in the leg length before starting the heel. So I have this that I don't know what to do with. I will probably put it in my blanket, I don't know. It's just laying there for now, so yeah. That's my sock. It's a whole story for just a sock, but now that I have done all this trial and error, and since I love this yarn so much, and it was super cheap, I also have a funny story regarding the price, but yeah. I'm probably going to knit a lot of socks out of this, so it's just for the first pair, and now I know what to do exactly, and it's going to be smooth sailing from now on, so I'm just super happy about this. And yeah, as you can tell here, maybe I am holding the thread double, and the gauge didn't change. You can just tell the fabric is stiffer, but the gauge is almost exactly the same. So if you wondered, if you have something like this in your stash or if you want to try it, there's no difference. I'm definitely very tense when I knit, so I yank on the yarn voluntarily, but it's just a heel, so it's okay, it's fine. That's it for this one. No, the funny story about the price. So when I bought the first one, this one, in December, there was a sale in the store, so I could get the skein for 30% off. And it was, I think it was 30 Swiss francs. Swiss francs are about the same as dollars and euros. So for the whole skein and the two thingies. And so nice price. I got it for 10 bucks or something. And so when I decided to buy another one in another color that would suit him more, there was no sale going on. So I went to the store, picked the skein, and I just thought, it's okay, it's just 3 more bucks, so really it's fine. And I went to the, how do you say that? To the cashier to pay, and the lady took the skein and she said, do you have the discount coupon thing? And I just looked at her and I was like, what? What discount? What coupon? No, I don't. And she said, okay. And I looked at the screen and she wrote 30% off. What? So apparently I got a discount, even though I told her I didn't. I don't know what happened, but I didn't say anything and I paid the discount price. So I also got the new one for 30% off, which is nice. So yeah, nice surprise. Funny story. Anyway, so this is it for my only whip I'm going to show you. And now I have some acquisitions. I have first I will show you the very special one. I have some friends that I usually go climbing with that live in a farm, and they have some alpacas and llamas. Not much, but they have some, and they of course get them shorn once or twice a year, I don't know. And they managed to find a mill that would spin the yarn for them. So they have actually yarn from their own alpacas that is spinned in the mill for them, which is super nice. And whenever the guy learned that I knit, he was like, oh, I need to give you some yarn, we have some yarn from our animals, so I can give that to you. It would be super special that someone that really knits uses it. And I was like, yes please. And I got it. Oh, it's so special. This one is so soft. So it's 100% alpaca yarn, and I haven't asked for the names of the animals, but I will, so that I know exactly who they were gotten from. So this one is just black, and you can maybe see it's very drapey and it's so incredibly soft, like wow. It's not like the cotton boats soft I told about earlier for this one. This is just like, wow, it's like butter. It's really amazing. This one is much less soft, because I'm guessing the difference is this one is a 2-ply or 3-ply. Yeah, it's a 3-ply, and this one is a single ply. And this one you can also tell, so it's a little bit more tightly spun, and you can also tell there are probably some guards hair in it, so it's just, maybe just the animal was less soft to begin with. I don't know, but you can see a little bit here, it's a little bit more stringy. Here you can see the spun, I mean the spin. Don't know if you can tell. Yeah, and the spin is a little less, I mean, it's just as irregular as this one, but this one is a 3-ply, so the irregularness is kind of getting smoothened out by the multiple plies. However, this yarn is single, so yeah, it's just a little bit more rough. But this is 200 grams and this one is 100, and it's just, I'm so happy. It's just so special. I'm the only one who have this. I mean, kind of course. They can make a lot more skins out of their animals, but yeah. Obviously you cannot buy this, so it's very special. I'm so happy. I have no idea what I will do with them, but it's okay. I can just stare at them, stroke them, do a little face squish. Maybe I will put this one back into the skin form because I can tell there is a little bit of tension in it and I don't want the fiber to get too stressed from the tension, so I'm not sure, but yeah, super lovely. I love it. So this is an acquisition. They got gifted to me, by the way. I didn't buy them. I wanted to, but he said no. I'm just happy to give the yarn to someone that will use it and love it, so it's okay, you can have it. So super nice. My next acquisition is a lot less special. I told in the last episode I wanted to cast on the Teddy Zip by the same designer as this one, which is Joanne Ho. So it's this pattern, and I have an image in my mind to make it with one color for the body and one color for the sleeve and another color for the other sleeve. And I wanted to use Nutiden for my stash, leftover Nutidens that I didn't know what to do with, that I had in perfect amount for this. And I wanted to hold it with another yarn that would be a little bit more hard wearing and not break when I knit with it, basically. So I bought some cheap yarn, and kind of the cheapest 100% non-superwash wool I can get is Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. Because I found a store in Germany. So Germany is really close to Switzerland. I mean, not the north of Germany, but the southern part of Germany is really close. So it's not shipping from too far away. And if I order under 60 Swiss francs, 62 Swiss francs, including the shipping, I don't have to pay taxes. And if I order in another country, they will deduce the taxes from the price. So I don't pay any taxes at all. Not in Switzerland, nor in Germany. Which means I can get each ball for something like 3.50 francs, which is nothing. So it's 50 gram balls, obviously, but it's just super cheap for 100% non-superwash yarn of this quality. It's amazing. So I do that. And I bought for under 60 francs of yarn, including shipping, which is like 30 francs, I think. So I managed to buy 12 balls, which is good. I'm pretty happy. So I bought those 3 colors. The red one, oh, they go so well together. Can you imagine in a jacket in those shades? Like body, sleeve, sleeve. Wow. I'm not exactly sure about this one, but I love green. I love red and blue together. I think it's awesome. Anyway, so this one is Merlot, Mélange. This one is Midnight, and this one is Time. Like time, not time, hours and minutes, like time. How do you say that? So those 3. And I bought these colors because the Nutiden colors I have are those 3. And I will put the name of the screens because obviously I don't know how you say them. So this one is a dark burgundy red, this one is dark like navy blue, and this one is a dark green. And this is even better. So obviously maybe you can tell that those are much lighter than the Nutiden one I have, and that was not made on purpose. I mean, this one I knew I couldn't find the correct shade, but these two I thought they would be darker, but they are not. So maybe if I can show you, this is what it looks like. This one is okay. I think it can work. It can give a slight marl effect to the yarn, and I think it can be really nice. This one, it can also work. I need to swatch to be sure, but it should be fine. And the green, the Filcolana is a little bit too yellow, definitely. But again, I need to swatch. Maybe it can work, maybe not. And since I had a little bit of room left in my order until I got to the 60 francs, I completed it with 2 more skins of the black, because I mentioned my sweatshirt blanket I haven't started yet. And I have a black main color, and it's this, it's the Filcolana in a charcoal melange colorway, and I have already bought 10. However, it's not enough, definitely. I want a super big one. So every time I buy some Filcolana, I will add black ones. It's obviously not the same dyer, but I don't care, it's a blanket. Until I get to the 20 I need for the blanket. So that's it for my acquisition. And yeah, I will first swatch all of these together, all 3 colors, and see what it looks like. And the problem is that since I want to do like the body sleeves in the holding the knitted end double with the 1 strand of the Filcolana, the marl should be fine. However, the cuffs and all the edgings in ribbing will be only in Filcolana, and that's when you're going to see the difference in color, and I'm not sure this would work. So I need to swatch with ribbing with only the Filcolana to see how this exactly will work out. So that's it. And the reason why I don't have the pattern yet, I was actually about to buy it. I was on Ravelry, I was about to click add to cart, and then I remembered, wait, I'm test knitting a design for the same designer, and I'm going to get a free design in a few weeks, so I can just wait until I get the free pattern from her once I've completed the test knit. However, the deadline for the test knit is in like mid-March. I need this jacket now, so I will probably just ask her if she can maybe send me the pattern before the end of the test knit, so that I can start my jacket before. It should be okay, but yeah, I just need to first take the pictures of this one, fill out the form and everything, and then I can ask her for the pattern. But I'm just so excited to cast on, I want to cast it on right away. That's it for today. I think it's definitely not a short episode, sorry. There's just one thing I wanted to add still. It's also kind of funny, and I completely forgot to talk about it in the latest episode, but I actually went to my first knit night in person. Like, how could I forget to talk about it? But I did. So 3 weeks ago I went to a apéro crochet tricot thing, and it was super nice. It was just lovely. All the ladies there were so chatty and nice and just thoughtful, and it was just, it made my heart sing again. I will be honest, I was terrified before going there, because it's something I have never done before, and I didn't know anyone except one person, because I did ask my only in real life knitting friend to go there with me, and so we went together, which was also really nice because we don't see each other very often, so it was a nice occasion to see each other, and it was just cute, just a nice evening, nice night, and you will never know what happened there. I ran out of yarn. Like, who does that? Yeah. I mean, I know I'm a fast knitter, but when I left in the morning I had quite a big, something like this, like a big chunk of yarn, and I was knitting on a fingering weight big wrap, and I didn't think I would finish the ball during the day, but I did. And like, in the middle of the knit night, I was like, I finished my yarn, I don't have anything to knit on. So I just left, because what's the point? And yeah, so it was a very short one, but it was nice, and I'm happy I went there. And I will see if I can find the courage to go to another one, but probably. I'm not sure there will be one this month, but maybe next month. Yeah, so just wanted to tell you that. I found the courage to go to a social event with people I don't know, and it was nice, it was lovely, and I'm super happy I did. So this time, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you find this interesting or inspiring, or maybe both. I also wanted to thank you, because lately I've been getting a lot of super lovely comments, like so sweet and nice and supportive, and just people giving me their thoughts on what I do, and it's just so nice to just hear from the other side. And I mean, I have always been getting nice comments from the beginning, but for some reason I've been getting more lately, and it's just, again, it just makes my heart sing. A lot of things have been making my heart sing lately, so my heart is singing a lot. But yeah, it's just so nice to read you, and I'm just so happy to just know what you think about what I do. So yeah, if you have a little bit of time to give back to me, I would be super happy to read your comments, and I'm forever grateful for the ones you have already left. I mean, so much that a lot of the time I will actually purposely not answer and just keep the notification on my phone, so that every time I open my phone I can see it again, I read it again, and I'm like, oh, that person's so nice. And I will leave it there for a few hours before answering, because it just makes me so happy. I'm ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, if you don't have time for a comment, of course, you can also like. I also really appreciate those. And subscribe, of course. So yeah, thank you again for your support, and I will see you in the next one. Happy knitting!